Ngayon natapos na ang July window ng Gilas Pilipinas na nakalaban nila ang New Zealand and Australia 0-2, pero yung game against New Zealand na muntikana na, and the game against Australia, they were short-handed pero talagang na-overwhelm lang in terms of talent. Talagang outclassed lang and outmatched, and talagang hindi kaya talaga, unfortunately. Pero sa video na to, since tapos na yung window, we're going to recap. Pag-uusapan natin yung mga players, ira-rank natin as honest as I can be. Itong video na to is going to be kind of a relaxed one. Pagdadaanan lang natin lahat, we're going to rank them one by one. Pag-uusapan natin isa't isa, ano ang aking assessment sa kanila, ano mga napansin ko, and ano yung mga, things to point out. So, I have 5 tiers here. Una, very good. Pinakataas, susunod, good. Pangatlo ay pwede na or okay na yan. And the fourth one is could have been better, or could have been better. Yes, tama. Hindi ako marunong magbasa. Could have been better means parang, kumbaga, leaning towards pwede na, pero I expected more, personally. And yung expectations ko naman is hindi naman siya standard sa lahat ng tao. Personal expectation ko lang. So, lahat to subjective, by the way. And hindi dapat to ginagawang Biblia or ginagawang reference. Ano ko lang to, my assessment of them rather. So, yung pinakahuli naman, not enough minutes, pag parang hindi naman ganong nagamit, I don't think it's fair din naman to give an assessment to someone na hindi rin masyadong nagamit. And alam ko na kung sino lalagay ko rito. Pero anyway, start off, simulan na natin kay AJ Edu. Si AJ Edu, against New Zealand, he played okay naman. 31 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 fouls, 2 turnovers. And the thing about Edu kasi, si Edu yung tipo ng player na stable siya. He gives the Gilas what they need out of him. Though sometimes parang rebounding wise, minsan naliligaw. Pero yung hustle naman laging andyan. And si AJ Edu naman is yung presence alone. Being able to play, availability as well, diba? Being able to play palagi, as in, kapag may window, expect mong andun si AJ Edu, 6'10", big man, na talagang maaasahan. Reliable naman si Edu, yun yung mabibigay ko kay Edu. And against Australia naman, AJ Edu played 21 minutes, 5.6 rebounds. Again, very decent performance from AJ Edu. Reliable naman talaga si AJ Edu. And sa window na to, I think yung play niya is pwede na. Kasi of course, gusto ko sana siya na mas maging involved pa. Kasi kind of, medyo na-outclass siya ni Mike Phillips sa second game against Australia. And mas parang nagamit si Phillips. Tingnan nga natin, double check natin. Mas nagamit si Phillips 24 minutes kumpara sa 21 ni AJ Edu. Kasi matchup wise, parang mas okay yung pinakita ni Phillips compared to kay Edu. Pero yun naman yung maganda, diba, options for Gilas Pilipinas sa front court. Having different options, magkakaibang tipo ng bigs, magkakaibang skill set, gives them kind of a versatility, which is very important in today's game. And si AJ Edu, iba yung na-offer niya. Though yung free throw shooting and yung finishing, yung touch, diba? And sometimes yung vision as a big man na makakakuha ng attention, very important din to find sino yung open. Pero 'di ba yun yung mga bagay na ina-expect mo from the other players na wala sa window na to, and not necessarily kay Edu na if full force 'di ba sila, you'd expect Edu's role to become more simplified, na abang sa dunker spot, simpleng pick and roll, simpleng rim protection, linis ng basura. So for now, sa window na to, I think okay na yung ginawa ni Edu. Of course, I would want it, 'di ba? Parang gugustuhin ko na mas okay, mas maganda, pero okay na yan. Reliable yung pinakita ni AJ Edu na performance. Next one, si Carl Tamayo against Australia. Carl Tamayo struggled, 2 points lang, 1 out of 9 shooting. Maganda sana, 'di ba, kung talagang naging factor siya, pero wala rin talaga sa hulog si Tamayo against Australia. Pero against New Zealand, Tamayo played really well, though siya leader sa minus in terms of plus minus, pero nangyari kasi yan dahil sa kakulangan ng bigs ng Gilas Pilipinas nung game na to. Napuwersa si Coach Tim Cone to play Carl Tamayo a little bit at the 5. So, nahirapan silang sumabay sa mga offensive rebounding ng New Zealand. Pero offensively naman, uminit naman si Carl Tamayo. So, again, Carl Tamayo, kung meron ditong tab or tier ng mga na-impress ako and meron silang potential, dun ko siya lalagay. Pero hindi ko nilagay kasi masyado nang madidistribute yung players, and ano pang point ng tier list, diba? Kung masyado nang, kung may kanya-kanya silang tiers, tigi-isa, diba? So, I think, ilalagay ko si Carl Tamayo sa pwede na, tuktok ng pwede na, which speaks volumes naman kasi Kasi ngayon pa lang yung window na nakita natin talaga si Carl Tamayo play considerable minutes, especially na wala yung naturalized player si Justin Brownlee sa game against Australia. Kaya in-expect din siguro ng tao na magsa-step up siya sa game na yon. Pero iba talagang level yung Australia. We have to calibrate, 'di ba, yung expectations and the outcome of that sa kung ano yung level ng competition. So kumbaga yung 20 points sa New Zealand, siguro mga 10 yon against Australia. Now, susunod si Justin Baltazar, our first player sa not enough minutes. Though he played naman against Australia 5 minutes, still not enough. And siya yung kaisa-isang DNP against New Zealand. So yung role kasi ni Balti medyo tricky. Kaposisyon niya si Mike Phillips, si AJ Edu, si Carl Tamayo, for some reason, diba? Even Junmar Fajardo and Troy Rosario, who also didn't play quite much sa window na to. Pero si Justin Baltazar, alam naman natin anong kayang pakita ni Balti. Nakita na natin si Balti dati and nakikita natin si Balti sa PBA right now. Alam naman natin yung skill set ni Balti. Talagang to me kasi conflict lang with the addition of Mike Phillips and AJ Edu's reliable, consistent performance para sa team. Parang nawawalan ng need to play Balti if pwede namang si Edu na lang. So lalagay ko siya sa not enough minutes. And then for Dwight Ramos naman, si Dwight Ramos played okay, played well naman. Outside of that one foul na kinumit niya, talagang si Dwight Ramos yung talagang consistent din na parang AJ Edu, every window, present. Every window nagko-contribute naman. And grabe nga yung minutes na nilalaro ni Dwight Ramos. Halos pang Brownlee minutes na yung nilalaro ni Dwight Ramos. Talagang ano na siya, core piece talaga siya rito. Kumbaga pag sinabi mong Gilas Pilipinas, ang core pieces, Kai Soto, and then susunod na siguro doon, Dwight Ramos na yun. So Dwight Ramos, 6 out of 17 shooting, 18 points. Fouled out siya sa game against New Zealand, had 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal. Grabe, kompleto. Sa Australia naman, Dwight Ramos struggled 4 out of 16, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Again, very complete. Pero again, di ba ika-calibrate natin kasi Australia to eh. To me, yung 9 points against Australia, mga ano na yan, 15 points against New Zealand, ganon. Hindi ko binibelittle yung New Zealand, ibang level lang talaga yung Australia. So for Dwight Ramos, considering na reliable siya, always present, and yung performance naman niya laging nasa tuktok pa rin, kasi wala naman nag-double digits eh. Leader pa rin siya sa scoring with 9. Diba? Akalain mo yun. Scoring leader siya with 9 points. So ilalagay ko pa rin siya sa very good or good. Lalagay ko siya sa very good kasi wala naman akong ibang malalagay pa dyan kundi siya. Dahil very consistent siya. And for sinong next, Junmar Fajardo against New Zealand, had a nightmare quarter and a half for Junmar Fajardo sa New Zealand game. Kalimutan na natin yon, talagang na-expose siya doon. Pero against Australia, siya lang talaga, or isa siya sa mga masasabi kong lumaban. Alongside siguro Phillips and the other guys. Si Junmar Fajardo, nilagay siya sa laro na to sa Australia kasi walang Brownlee na magdodraw ng double team. They tried running the young guys early, dumikit sila, pero pag break ng lineup, nung second unit, nawala. So, pinasok si Junmar sa third unit. And then si Junmar, pinoste na pinoste. Tinignan nila kung magre-react yung defense. Junmar Fajardo had good looks. Hindi niya lang na-convert. Pero I respect Junmar for really trying. And talagang respeto to Junmar sa pagkayod. And may mga ilang plays na dumobol yung Australia sa kanya. Resulta nun, mga Troy Rosario, nasalo sa ilalim of the double team ni Junmar. Meron si Junmar assist to someone else in the second quarter. Di ko na maalala kung kay Nino. Pero meron. Junmar had 3 assists, 8.6 rebounds. Had 4 fouls, had a steal and a block. Solid defense sa stint niya sa loob. So, Junmar Fajardo, syempre, hindi naman pwedeng i-disregard lang natin yung New Zealand game. Pero yung Australia game, siguro yung respect points ko doon na overcome yung kakulangan or yung hindi niya napakita sa New Zealand. So, ilalagay ko si Junmar Fajardo sa good out of respect sa Australia game. So for Kevin Gambao played 37 minutes against New Zealand, 23 points, 3 out of 8 3 points, 6 out of 8 from 2, plus 7. Against Australia, struggled kasi nga walang double team eh. So napuwersa sila mag 1-on-1. Pero still had 8 points, walang rebound assist, had 2 turnovers, pero had 8 points naman. And alongside Dwight Ramos and Junmar Fajardo, si Kevin Gambao provided scoring sa maliit na sample size or sa maliit na resulta. Kumbaga kung i-divide mo pa rin naman to, yung points niya sa outcome, malaking percentage pa rin yun na provide niya sa Gilas Pilipinas. So again, relative to their opponent, still a good performance from KQ. So ilalagay ko rin siya sa very good kasi same with Dwight Ramos, essentially the same sila ng pinakita this window. So unfair if lagay ko si Kevin Kiambao sa same level as Junmar. So I think ilalagay ko siya sa very good. And for Mike Phillips, very impressed ako with Mike Phillips kasi sa game against New Zealand, hindi siya ganun nakapaglaro pero ramdam na ramdam yung impact. Plus 11 siya. After Juan Gomez de Leaño, siya yung sumunod na pinakamataas na plus sa team na to. Had 3 rebounds, nakapag-drop pa siya ng anspo from New Zealand. Ang dami niya mga tapik-tapik, mga loose ball na kinukuha at sinesave or itinatry i-save. Even though 11 minutes lang siya sa New Zealand game, I consider it as a very good game or very good outing para kay Mike Phillips. And against Australia, ito na, breakout game para kay Mike Phillips. 24 minutes, 6 points, 12 defensive rebounds, 14 total rebounds, hara steal, hara block. Ang gusto ko kay Mike Phillips talaga, yung pag nasa loob siya or nasa vicinity siya ng bola after an Australian miss, talagang parang may magnet automatic na pupunta sa kanya. And this is very promising to see kasi merong isa pang option ng Gilas outside of AJ Edu in terms of a big man na mas basurero type of role. Rim protection, rolling, setting screens, offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, etc. Yung ganong tipo ng player na talagang hustle player. So, less pressure for Edu to be that guy kasi Edu can focus now on his versatility. Diba? So, I think it's really nice to see na Mike Phillips finally broke out for Gilas Pilipinas sa kanyang second game sa seniors na hindi Asian Games or SEA Games ba. So, Mike Phillips, ilalagay ko siya sa good. Kasi kung i-very good ko siya, kailangan kasi KQ level performance. And he kind of did naman against Australia. Pero I don't think nandun pa siya sa level of KQ and Dwight in terms of performance. Pero again, very good outing. Pero sa tier, ilalagay ko siya sa good. And for Chris Newsome naman, sa New Zealand game, very controversial yung minutes niya na ang lamig-lamig biglang pinasok overtime. So definitely a factor na i-consider ko sa ranking. Pero against Australia, he didn't score, 0 out of 5, pero he played decent or good defense naman against Australia. Especially kay Bryce Cotton. Na-limit naman niya nung nasa loob siya ng court. So, siguro lalagay ko siya sa pwede na kasi nagawa naman yung trabaho niya. Kumbaga sa game against Australia, he did his job. Against New Zealand, considering na malamig siya, 40 minutes siyang di naglaro and then gagamitin, okay na yun, he did his job. Then finally, for Juan Gomez de Leaño, like Mike Phillips, revelation sa window na to. Sa game against New Zealand, Mike Phillips tuloy. Juan Gomez de Leaño played 21 minutes. Sana more pa, diba? 23 points, 6 rebound, 4 assist. Fouled out siya, had 3 turnovers, plus 13 nga lang. And yung scoring talaga yung pinoprovide niya, which he did sa game na to. Grabe yung scoring ni Juan Gomez de Leaño. Hit, hindi a couple few. Diba? Hit a few big shots for Gilas Pilipinas to keep them in the game against New Zealand. And for Australia naman, may isa siyang garbage time na 3-pointer, pero sige, 7 points yan. 11 minutes. Struggled keeping the ball safe against the New Zealand tuloy, Australian press. Actually, itong lahat ng guardian ng Gilas Pilipinas sa laro na to nahirapan sa pressure defense ng Australia. Yung scoring alone, enough na yan. Okay na yan. Kasi nakakascore naman siya. And sa game na to, kumbaga 9 points si Dwight, 8 points si Kevin Kiambao, 8 points si Junmar Fajardo, 7 si Juan Gomez de Leaño. So, isa rin siyang malaking contributor in terms of scoring. So, we can't really fault Juan Gomez de Leaño for being thrown under the fire. Diba? Yun yung ibabato ka sa swimming pool para matuto. So, this is good experience para kay Juan Gomez de Leaño. Tong window na to, nabigyan siya ng considerable minutes against two very good teams like New Zealand and Australia. Gusto ko siyang lagay sa very good, pero right now, I think nasa pinakatuktok siya ng good. Borderline very good. Kung tatanggalin natin yung 4 turnovers against Australia. So, ayun, ito ang aking rankings ng Gilas Pilipinas team this window against Australia and New Zealand. Marami tayong masasabi against this Gilas team na to right now, especially paparating sa second round kung saan mas magmamatter na talaga yung games. Pero, yeah, mas magpo-focus ako sa development and sa growth nila QMB tuloy, sorry, ni Mike Phillips, ni Juan Gomez de Leaño, KQ, and even Carl Tamayo. Appreciate ko yung growth and yung experience na nakuha nila this window. I hope sa parating na round 2, ma-develop pa nila lalo and mas maging core pieces na sila for this Gilas team. Para hindi tayo sobrang like alam mo yun, predictable. And this game, we really missed the services of Justin Brownlee kasi siya yung tiga-draw ng double team para ma-open tong mga to. So, sana pagdating ng round 2, whether that's going to be Justin Brownlee, Benny Boatwright, or even Jordan Clarkson, or even Dylan Harper, or kung sino man, di ba? Sana yung naturalized player na maglalaro for Gilas Pilipinas can help these guys out para ma-unlock yung best version nila. So, yun lang naman for this tier list. If meron kayong disagreements, okay lang, comment down below kung ano sa tingin nyo. Pero, ito yung sa akin. Napansin ko wala pa lang could have been better. Pero, yeah, ito yung ating ranking. Maybe, wala, yan na talaga yun. So, yan, that's it. Thank you for watching. Take care, guys.